this point, I don't know anymore what counts and what doesn't count in this crease play.
Here comes Dumoulin against Hainsey. Cuts in front. Scores!
There's no goal in the play. Pittsburgh, number 8. That's 2 minutes. Goaltender interference.
It is the well-traveled road of goaltender interference, peaking on the weekend when Brian Dumoulin was penalized after scoring a goal for goalie interference, and the play was waved off, causing a former Art Ross winner, Jamie Benn, to tweet 2 minutes for scoring, huh? But of course, you'd expect him to be biased. He's a former Art Ross winner. He's a scorer, so he wants those pucks to go in the net. To balance out the conversation, we have Grant Fuhr, Stanley Cup champion with the Edmonton Oilers and almost 1,000 career games, and Byron Dafoe, 415 games in the National Hockey League, most notably with the Boston Bruins. So you guys are part of the goalie union, and I was a little bit surprised at your reactions to Saturday night, because I put out the tweet after Jamie Benn, and I said something along the line of agreeing with the call, and all of a sudden it erupted into a Twitter war. Well, not quite, but it was a play Twitter war. Totally agree with the goal. This is from me and my daughter there looking on. Call to remove the goal and issue a minor penalty. Players cannot enter the crease area and make contact with the goaltender. This was an easy one. And lo and behold, I'm watching my feed and Grant Fuhr tweets back, I beg to differ, Darren. Thanks for spelling the name right. It's a hockey play that happened hundreds of times over the years. Should have been a goal, and that's from a goalie's point of view. Hashtag, we'll mention that you're a Hall of Famer. And Byron Dafoe gets involved, piling on. I have to agree with Grant on this one. 100% believe goalies need to be protected as they are focused on the puck, but it's a fine line when players can't drive the net anymore. Goalies union officially fractured as of right now. We'll start with Grant because you were the first to get back to me. Tell me why on that particular play, the Dumoulin one, you think the goal should have stood even though there was contact with Frederik Andersen.
Well, the contact with the goalies, he's driving to the net, obviously trying to score a goal. So with a push from the defenseman, it's the only reason there's any contact initiated, and it's within the play. I mean, if you look back in the 80s, you'd have to take 100 goals away from Glennie Anderson from driving the net. So it's just a play that happens in hockey.
Byron, you know, I'm looking at it and I say guys could become reckless taking the puck to the net. They don't care about hitting the goalie, and they just care about putting the puck in the net. So your reaction to Saturday?
I agreed with Grant, obviously, in the tweet, and I just feel that the game is kind of getting away from its roots. And the NHL, in my mind, has to make a decision. Do they want to go 100% protection, no crease violation whatsoever, which almost is like international hockey? And in my mind, personal opinion, of course, that's what I like about the NHL is we're not international hockey. We're the NHL. This is played in North America, and it's a tougher game than what you see in the Olympics and international play.
Byron, you guys, I'm going to find video all over the place of both of you during the course of your careers waving your hands saying there was goal interference. So why do you think the goaltenders, and Byron, we'll go back to you on this one, why do you think the goaltenders have it a little bit easy now?
Well, I wouldn't say it's easy, Darren. You're going to try and put me in the hot seat here with the union. But, there's no question. I think the problem that's happening is now goalies realize this, if there is contact, whether it's on purpose or pushed in by a defenseman, they now reserve the right to complain and say they're interfered with. And, why not? I mean, it's the rule and it's up for interpretation. Not only do you have one referee trying to interpret a play, now you've got two referees, and it's very frustrating now as a fan to sit and watch and, go up to replay 2-3 times a game and not even sure whether it's a goal or not a goal.
Grant, did you try and sell plays when you played?
No, you just played through it. I mean, the object of the game was to stop the puck. And if somebody bumped into you, you still tried to stop the puck. Where I think now you don't have to force yourself to try and make that extra save. You can just basically play act a bit.
How much do you think goaltenders are, I hate to bring up soccer goalies, but getting a little theatrical, Grant?
I think for the most part, they've pretty much played through it, but I think they also realize, if it comes down to the playoffs and you have to play act a little bit to get a goal disallowed, you're going to do it. It's all about winning, and if you know you can bend the rules in your favor, you're going to do it.
Grant, and then Byron, you can take it off him. Would you rather have toe in the crease, which you've both experienced, or the current generation of tackling this issue of goaltender interference?
I personally don't think you should have either. I played with the toe in the crease, and I was a victim of being on the other side of it, where we had a goal called back in the playoffs, and in my mind cost us a series in Boston. And, it was very frustrating because, again, if it's nothing to do with the play, it's almost like the offside rule. I know we're not getting into that. That's a whole other segment.
Tim Taylor, I know he still feels bad about that.
There you go.
Grant, what about you? Toe in the crease or what we're calling now?
I agree with Byron. I mean, I think you got to go back to the way it was in the 80s. Hockey play's a hockey play. The toe in the crease rule was a little extreme, and what they've got going now is just kind of a mess. So I'd take it back to where it was in the 80s. Hockey play's a hockey play.
Well, the other part of this is the argument on Saturday was that the Dumoulin was pushed into the net. And my whole thing is, and Byron, you probably will want in on this, but Grant, to you first, you can't judge how much that push influences a player when he is shoved into a goaltender. Some guys, and I'll go back to the mid-90s, Grant, and I don't know whether you remember this or not, but there was a play, Chris Pronger with the St. Louis Blues, and you were within that Blues net, pushed Nick Kyprios into you, and it looked like Nick dressed it up. What do you remember from that play?
Oh, I know the push was a little dressed up, but it's also playoff time, and guys are going to fall on you. I mean, that's just part of playoffs. It's probably, over my career, probably happened 100 times where guys fall on you. You don't expect to get hurt out of it, but you also know that they're going to run into you, so that's just the way it works. That's
you're pretty accepting of that play, and nowadays that would there's no chance that even is accepted or part of the conversation.
No, I mean, I was a little disappointed at the time because we were having a great playoff run, but it happened 1,000 times in other series where guys would fall on you. If there's a whistle, they fall on you. If you cover the puck, they fall on you. And that's just the way it was back then.
Byron, you ever have somebody run you like that?
I had the odd one. I remember one in Vancouver with Donald Brashear, and it was same thing, got hurt on the play. But, like Grant said, this is how we grew up playing hockey, the old diving and just doing everything you can to stop the puck. You're not worried about if there's interference or not, and if there is, that's a bonus. But at the end of the day, you're just doing everything possible to stop the puck.
As I say goodbye to you, Grant, Nick's sitting right here. Last word goes to you, and then we'll get to Doug and Nick.
Oh, I'd probably give Nick a 10 for the dive. It was good. The landing wasn't so good, but the dive was pretty good.
Thanks to you both. Appreciate you catching up.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks, Darren.